All right, welcome to the Garage Education Sessions with Max Performance. And for topic number 1, I'm just back from a run and that's ticked me over to 50 kilometers for the week. Now this has been a target for a while, 50 kilometers and feeling good. Might not sound like loads, to some of you might sound like loads. For me, it's been a long period of not getting a lot of running in, just taking over, still being consistent. So 50 was something that I had to really work for. Partly because of the time that it takes in your week, squeezing in around all the other training and the gym work, and also what your body can handle. So the 3 things we're going to look at particularly here. We've got, you need to have a gradual increase, listen to your body, and don't listen to too much, and instead trust the process. Most importantly there is that gradual increase. So if we're looking at things, and this is going to be our time and our training load, just look at the volume here, not the speed, just the training volume. You're not going to go straight to 50k. Let's say that's your 50k per week, and that's 0. Okay, so kilometers up here, and these are the weeks. Yep, always level axis. You're going to gradually build. And what I recommend here is 3 weeks of building, 1 week less, and then you reset, but everything's slightly higher. So to build it in, what we're going to do is, I might hit here, 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 have a really good deload, and it's a proper deload here. You can't just go slightly easier, think I'll recover and push on, because then suddenly you're doing 7-8 weeks and they're really, really tough. You need lots of time to actually recover. So those deloads should be proper deloads. So that graph's going to look like this. And then for the next 4 weeks, it's going to be the same pattern, but you're going to go slightly higher for each one. So looking at that, that was there. So we're now going to start a little bit higher. So week 3 is that much higher than it was before, and your deload again, really good deload. So now we're there. And you can see how this pattern is going to go up and up and up over the weeks until you get to 50k. So how many blocks, how many 4-week blocks? That'll depend on where you start and how it's going. So this is where it's all about going through these 3 things. So number 1, gradual. Got to be that gradual increase. The general rule of thumb, plus or minus 10% per week. You don't want to increase by too much or decrease by too much in those weeks. And your deload might be slightly less than that 10%, that's okay. As in, you're decreasing it by more than 10%. But certainly the increase should not be more than 10%. Otherwise, yes, you might get away with it for a week or 2, but your body takes time to handle it. That's why it's got to be gradual change. And on that, you need to listen to your body. It's point number 2 here. If your training program is saying to do a certain amount, but it's not happening, listen to your body. You don't want to grind it down and push too much, too hard, too soon, too much volume. Maybe this week has to be a lighter week than you thought. You might be planning to be here, and instead you have to do another week like this. That's fine, just extends the process. If that happens 2 weeks in a row, then take another deload. So what I mean by that is, you're trying to go up, get a different color here. We've done our first block of training, that's been fine. We get that one, we're supposed to be here, but we can't. Okay, that's fine, we consolidate, we're going to go again. We're trying to go out there for the next week, we can't. Okay, now for 2 weeks in a row I've missed it, so now I'm taking a proper deload. And then we go again. If that happens twice, then I would completely reset and go back 2 blocks worth of training, so your volume goes right down. So again, to illustrate that, let's say we've done 3 blocks already, and it's been going okay. So we've done our 3 blocks of training like that. So there's a deload, there's a deload. We're now at this stage and we've got that 3-week flatline. It's not happened. We try again, have a deload, we're flatlining again. There's no point in repeating this process. We need to completely reset. So I'm going to go back, not just 1, but 2 successful weeks and start from here again. And hopefully that reset is going to be enough to get your body back on track. Yeah, it might feel like a long way back, but this is a long game. There's no short-term fix here. You don't have to push past anything. You know, if you've got a race, that's different. We'll be working backwards, but equally, there's only so much you can do in training. You shouldn't push and get injured in training. You might just have to jump up by more than you plan and be slightly less prepared in the race. But better that than doing too much in training and not being able to race, or entering the race with niggles and injuries. So that's number 2, listen to your body. Number 3 though, trust the process, and it's learning. It might sound crazy because it's the opposite, but it's learning when not to listen to your body. And this is where the art of it all comes in. Is the difference between knowing what a niggle is, what real tiredness is and stuff like that, and what is actually just you and your body and your mind looking for excuses. So for here, for example, I've started to learn the warning signs. If I'm prepping my running kit for the morning, I'm doing this at night, and I'm really not feeling it, I'm showing you signs that I'm starting to overtrain, really tired, sluggish, etc. That's probably a good moment to call it. Get an extra sleep, and maybe I schedule a run for later in the day the next day. However, if I'm doing it and I wake up and, you know, say the night before packing, it's absolutely fine. You wake up and you're thinking, oh no, I'm tired. Just get up, give yourself a couple of minutes, you know, get your clothes on, walk around, stretch a little. You'll probably find you're feeling okay. And it was just that your mind was looking for excuses. So that's where it's learning to just trust the process and not always listen to your body. Learn when to listen to it. Trust the process. That only works if you're part of a program, part of a plan. So this is the general structure that we use in Max Performance, where it's going up for 3 weeks, down for 1. The length of the blocks and the number of blocks, they're individual to you. There's other things involved there, the elevation, stuff like that. But this is a general guide. Bit of background noise here, it's part of doing it in the garage. Finding your starting point, that's going to be very individual. But what I do with most people, presuming they've done some running before, is actually do a test. So depending on the length of the race that you got coming up, or your goal, in this case it was 50 kilometers, I'm doing a 5 or a 10 kilometer time trial, and that will give you some different metrics you can work off. We'll get some heart rate data perhaps, definitely get you pacing, we'll get you feel, can you even pace, stuff like that. So from there, we then work out the program. If you're interested in finding out more, you actually want to get some proper structure into your training, so you can get to max-performance.co.uk or get me on Instagram. It's at maxroger, it's ROGER 7. That's on Instagram. I'll happily chat from there and go over how to individualize this for you. Thanks for listening to the first Max Performance Garage Education session.